Did you guys hear about the banning of Nyara on X? How about we talk about that a little bit? Kind of want to show you a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about it. All right, so if you don't know, there is an X user by the name of Nyara, probably one of the most toxic transgender activists that you can get. Like really, really toxic. I'm talking, never mind I just want to live my life and I don't want to be hated. I got nothing against people like that, but Nyara is definitely not that type of individual. But apparently, Nyara V2, the account has been suspended due to the fact that X suspends accounts which violate the X rule. Now, this has created a little bit of a situation. To give you perspective, however, this is, I think, the second account of this individual, but apparently the first account, they say, is already sort of shadow banned. And yeah, there we go. I mean, you must have seen it. It's one of those VTubers. It's this one. The posts. I have responded and reacted to a few, so we can see if I can find a few of my own reactions. But most of the times it was disgusting stuff. Like really, really bad. I think, if you're ever on X, eventually you run into one of these disgusting statements, whether it be mocking Charlie Kirk, whether it be pushing for violence, whether it be... Yeet says, Asmongold responds to Nyara accusing him of leading a harassment campaign against the... Yeah, of course, because they can always call you whatever they want, a Nazi, a fascist, a monster, an imbecile, someone that you murdered your own mother. That's what they told to the guy. When he responds, you're harassing me. No, sorry, absolutely not. You punch up, he's allowed to punch down. 100%. That's the law of the jungle when it comes to content creation. Not my problem. So anyways, let's see what Asmongold said, and then we'll continue to see what some of the most prominent people who reacted to this on X say, and then I'll tell you what I think about this, but I think you can kind of tell.
You call it whatever you want. Just stay away from the kids.
Yes.
Just stop trying to groom kids.
Based.
I'm not asking for a lot, am I? Damn, just stop doing that. And yeah, I don't know what this is. The person posted this themselves. I wouldn't be surprised. No, you can complain and cry and get mad about this and act like a victim all you want. But the thing is, I'm not going to stop doing it. I don't give a f. You cry all you want. It makes it funnier for me.
You know, about Asmongold's policy when it comes to reaction content, by the way, he said that if you don't want to be featured in one of his videos, meaning that if you make it clear that you hate it when people do react videos of your content, he won't do it. He said that. But if you make videos about him, then he will, and he doesn't care. And I think that's a fair position to have, because if you're going to attack him, then he can react. If you've been a piece of scum and then his audience comes to you and start insulting you, that's a you problem. That's a you problem at that point. And that's just how it is.
And the thing is, that means I know it's working. And so anyway, one clip is canceling? Nah, bro, like everybody hates this bitch.
Yeah.
And the reason why, I'll tell you the reason why, is because she leads cancel campaigns against another person. Yep. So this dumb bitch goes and starts leading a massive cancel campaign on Kirshi, saying how she's a racist, a Nazi.
The usual stuff. They can do it, but if we speak back and you get annihilated for it, page gone and all of that, I'm a victim. What about the person that you were trying to get cancelled? Because that's exactly what you wanted. It's just that you failed because the majority of people, apart from the radicals, can see through your nonsense.
Trying to get her sponsors taken away.
Yeah.
And then I call her out, and I don't even say a whole lot. I just play her own clip of her saying it. He, she, I don't give a fuck what their gender is. She acts like a woman. Somebody's trans. I'm not going to go and play these gender games. I don't give a fuck about that. You a man, you a woman, you neither. You a retard. And that...
Yeah, sometimes the chat gets a little like that when they're like, oh, you shouldn't use that. Who cares? Like, I'm interested in the fact that this is a piece of filth.
That's a fact. You a roach. And the fact is, like, I'm calling this out, and I said this is disgusting. I don't think I give a fuck what gender somebody thinks they are. I don't care about that. You want to call yourself a woman, dress up like a cat girl? Fine, you're a girl. I don't care.
Yeah, free society.
Like, the thing is, to me, I care about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Am I crazy? I care about what you're doing. Like, I don't care about, like, some bullshit like that.
He's right.
Who gives a fuck about this? And so the fact is that people like to go and turn this into some kind of an issue. Nah, man, you go around and you start this trouble, you create drama, and now you throw shit at somebody else, and you think that you can get a Twitter mob behind you. Then I come back and I give it back to you. Fucking, that video got like 1 million fucking views. A lot of people watch that. Everybody's shitting on you. Well, welcome to the fucking show. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen, because it's not going to stop.
He's right. He's right.
We're going to keep going.
Yeah. Good. We need to get the other account banned. That's what I say. I am absolutely in favor of this disgusting individual for the stuff that look. So the opposite of trans is not biological. The opposite of trans is not real. The opposite of trans is not normal. The opposite of trans is cis. Oh, gosh. And this is nothing. This is nothing. Because then again, if you want to say this, whatever the heck, problem is that people that think this way, they don't state this as their own way to live life. They try to build this into the norm that possibly can be enforced onto people who do not want to comply with this language policing, me included. And this is nothing, guys. This is not. You see, this is nothing. If it already makes you cringe, there is a lot worse than that, this person said. And so, about time. Justifying violence against people who think differently, about time. Good. Greatest Women's Day of all time, suspended on Women's Day. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. Tecto, Nyara definitely going to be a part of the 41% after this. I don't know what 41% means, but wake up to a rotting spread harmful rhetoric about marginalized group. Okay, cool. Asmongon response to Nyara, we read that. Account suspended, eat shit. So people, of course, are happy about that. Let's see, Nyara, X, formerly Twitter. Hey, are you dead naming Twitter? You're dead naming Twitter. The self-offing... Oh, I see. I didn't know what that meant. Well, that's a little intense. I'm not a huge fan of that joke, but in general. X instantly denied my appeal and sent me this email. Let's see. Hello. X reserves the right to permanently suspend accounts that violate the X rules of terms of service without further notice. This account is suspended. Thanks. Oh, that's nice. Now we need to get out. We need to get rid of the other one. Twitch support. Hey Nyara, it's very possible that there is a lot of people in your chat that aren't watching the stream. We'd recommend reading the FAQ in the help article as it goes into a bit more details about this. But for example, if a person watching your stream has a setting on their browser which reduces spam, I don't care about that. Goodness gracious. Nyara V2 got. Good. Excellent. Me. Okay, so that was my take on this. Let's have a look at it. So Nyara says, I can't believe I got muzzled in the most unfun way possible. Next, I'm being targeted because of my freedom of speech by chads who whine about cancer culture. And then, what did I do? Why did my alt get suspended? So, let's talk about freedom of speech, shall we? Let's talk about freedom of speech a little bit, because this is really a failure. They either play dumb, which is, I believe, what this individual is doing and what a lot of people on the radical left do. They either play dumb or they're really that uneducated. But I don't think you can be that uneducated. Maybe you can, perhaps some overestimated average educational level. But let's make this clear once again. Yes, conservatives bitch about freedom of speech a lot. And there have been situations, for instance, Pambondi, whom, even though you would imagine being a conservative, you're like, well, this person is never going to be against freedom of speech. But then she did say stuff that I myself decided to call it out as a strong supporter of freedom of speech. When she was saying, people that laughed at Charlie Kirk's death, we are coming with boots into your house, we're going to arrest you. No, absolutely not. People who said it's now take out his children and wife, yes. See the distinction there? I made a whole video about this. But what the clowns on the radical left, when they say, I thought you were all about freedom of speech, now you're okay with me being banned. Freedom of speech means the government. Freedom of speech means the government should not come to you and remove your ability to express your thoughts, your ideas, your beliefs publicly. That's it. And of course, there are exceptions to this, which are incitement to violence, stuff that a lot of these people do, by the way, incitement to violence and direct threats. These are not protected speech. Anything else is. Speech can be ugly, still protected. Speech can be beautiful, protected. Speech can be annoying, protected. protected from what? Protected from governmental intervention, which is why I called out Pam Bondi, because she was exactly talking about governmental intervention. And I hate the people that laughed at Charlie Kirk. I absolutely despise them. But it's still their freedom of speech. The ones that pushed for violence, no. That you're crossing the line, then yes, you're going to get the FBI in your house. You're going to get in jail. Absolutely. Now, the situation when it comes to people like this is X, Twitch, YouTube, whatever the heck. These are not the government. They have terms of service. So if you break the terms of service, they can kick you out. Now, you could tell me, but these terms of service are bullshit. Oh, trust me. I'm here having to say unalive. I'm here having to say, which I refuse. I say off. I refuse. Pew pew, never in a million years I'm going to say pew pew firearms at that point. So yeah, no, the terms of service can absolutely be bullshit, but it's a private company. So if you don't like it, do not open an account on that site. Otherwise, you've got to play by their rules. And in fact, if anything, I'm not even annoyed by, for instance, Twitch or YouTube when they enforce the terms of service, because yeah, it's their right to enforce them. I'm more annoyed by the fact that oftentimes they enforce them with preference. There are caveats. And a lot of the times these caveats have to do, one, with the level of money that creators can bring in, but also with their political affiliations, because of course Twitch is very left-wing, at least the current boss. Maybe if they change boss, things might change a little bit. But whatever, it doesn't matter. To each his own, but I wish there wouldn't be double standards, but double standards are there. If you're a white, straight man, you are going to get banned forever for a breakage of terms of service, but if you are POC, gay, whatever the heck, black, you won't. You'll be banned for 3 days. Or if you have the right ideas, you will get banned for 2 days, like Hassan Piker, but then someone else with different ideas won't have the same level of protection. That's the nonsense. That's the thing that annoys me. But as content creators, the moment we decide, I want to start utilizing this platform because it is beneficial to me, then we accept the terms of service. And we just hope that we won't end up being in a situation where I did nothing wrong. Why did you ban me? And that kind of situation. That's it. So you're on X. What's the clown's name? Nyara. I know I use clown a lot, but what else? This is a clown world. You're on X. You broke terms of service. It's stupid to say, but now I'm appealing to freedom of speech. I thought you were all about freedom of speech. Did the government knock on your door like they do in the UK? No, freedom of speech and the first constitution amendment to the constitution hasn't been broken then. And this is such an obvious thing that it gets tiring. It gets tiring. Like even when I made my video and I'm like, why is Destiny, well, he got banned on Twitch, but I'm saying like, why isn't Destiny banned on YouTube? Why? Because the guy is literally there are clips when he's talking about violence on the streets. Hassan Piker, worse. He specifically called, he said, liberals, left-wingers, like he literally did it as a call to action. Even the tone of voice sounded like one of those balcony talks by fascist Mussolini. So I don't understand when something like that happens, because this is not protected speech. So why? So already the government should be involved in that. And even more so, the terms of service have absolutely been broken. So that's what a situation. So when I call for that, I'm like, he literally called for violence. What? Then they tell me, I thought you were all about freedom of speech. I thought you had a brain in your skull. But clearly there is something missing in there. Unless it's done on purpose at this point. I think it's done on purpose at this point. It's like they play dumb. Because they know like, oh, I thought you chuds. The Metatron. I thought the Metatron was all about freedom of speech, but in reality it doesn't like freedom of speech. Yeah, and that's why I called out Pam Bondi. Because I'm biased, right? I'm biased. It's only freedom of speech. I like cancel culture when it's against people that don't think like me, but I hate cancel culture. That's what they accuse you of. It's nonsense. It would take 15 seconds Google search to actually double check and see, but is he being coherent about this? And but they don't care about it because that's it. It's their way to own the chuds, and we're back to nonsense. So this is my take when it comes to Nyara. Nyara calls out Tectone. Man, calls out everyone, ladies and gentlemen, the oppressed, for his view count on Twitch post-bot update. Didn't Tecton accuse me of botting? Oh, this guy again, please. Oh, he's unbanned? They unbanned Lakari? Oh, you gotta be joking. I did not think that Twitch would unban him. That is crazy. Well, I guess sometimes, what can I say? Yeah. Goodness gracious. So yeah, I think it's a very good thing that the likes of Nyara, there are a few other accounts on X that I would love to see banned, to be honest. But that one, I'm not saying is the most toxic. There is worse. There is absolutely worse. But yeah, look at this. Look, the person who just cried about cancel culture. Look at this. You know what this is? Lack of self-awareness, the hypocrisy. And literally, hypocrisy is the one thing that annoyed even Jesus Christ. Even God in human form. What did he say to the people? Hypocrite. Hypocrite. The one thing that really annoyed even a God is hypocrisy. You know how there was the whole situation with Asmongold, which I might cover on a separate video maybe one of these days, not today. But you know, the whole situation with Asmongold having to part his ways with Mythic, the society that he was, I think he still owns the majority share of the stock market value, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Yeah, they kind of let him go because of some of controversial statements that he made, oh no, and so they let him go. Well, this agent society, which has a lot of content creators underneath them, I think a bit like an MCN. I don't know if it is an actual MCN, but whatever. Well, the problem is that now they created a precedent. I think that was a wrong move, honestly. One, because I don't think Asmongold did anything wrong. But regardless, the problem is that they made this announcement, Mythic Talent Agency, I think that's what they are. They made a big announcement and removed comments, so you can't comment. And they said, we decided to part our ways with Asmongold because we want to have inclusive, diverse, whatever the heck. And so they made that statement. It's not going to touch Asmongold in any way, shape, or form. Guy's a millionaire. But what it's doing is that it's going to impact now all the other YouTubers and VTubers that work underneath this system. Because what that means is that now there is a precedent. They know that they bent the knee to the mob. And so what do? Nyara calls out this Kirsche, which is some kind of, it's a VTuber. I don't really watch VTubers, exception being the Blue Jew. But I usually don't really watch VTubers. It's not my thing. I don't have anything against it. Very, very occasionally I will run into a clip of a VTuber and I'll watch it, but I'm not someone who like spends hours and entire afternoons obsessed with, oh, I want to watch VTubers. Not really my thing. I don't know. Maybe in the future I'll have a look, but right now not really my thing. It didn't organically happen, I guess. I have other interests. But the thing is that this is one of those VTubers who has expressed, I believe in the past, ideas that are more on the right wing of politics. Nothing, usually this is not anything like extreme. All you need to be in order to be attacked by the likes of this is to be moderately conservative. In fact, even a centrist at that point, it doesn't matter. Whatever. So there are several VTubers that appear to have expressed right-wing political views. And so what does Nyara say? You're next. What does that mean? It means that this VTuber is under the Mythic Talent Agency. And so now that Asmongold got taken out, you're next. Just to give you the real perspective of what it means to be a hypocrite. And now that you have got what you wanted this person to get, because again, there is a precedent, so they can go and push now. Well, you did it with Asmongold. You need to get out this, and this, and that other person for wrong speak. You wanted this to happen to them. And their entire career, possibly their only source of income, for wrong thing. But now that you get cancelled out of this platform, you're going to play the victim and say, oh, my freedom of speech. It's unbecoming, and it really is. I don't know, it's the level of toxicity that really unbearable to me. Absolutely unbearable. Absolutely unbearable. Because, I mean, guys, leave the kids alone. Response, no. Yeah, over our dead bodies at that point. Well, good. She got, and I celebrate it. I celebrate it. Hate me all you want on Reddit. Who cares? Who actually cares at this point? Absolutely.